Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Hello everybody, wish all of you fine today. So today, alhamdulillah, it's our seventh lecture. So we almost done our lecture, our material, our subject poetry. So we come to the end, and I'm so happy, and of course you are happy too. Let me tell you something, that the fifth, sixth, it's a new lecture, okay? But seventh, eighth, it's a revision, okay? So in the final exam, it will cover from 1 to 6, but 7th, 8th, it's just a revision, okay? So let's start our revision today in the 7th lecture, okay? I have some advices for you you should put on your mind if you want to pass this material with me. You should focus on all the questions that I mentioned from first lecture to the sixth lecture. To could pass this material, you should please do the best. Read, understand, please. Don't say that, Miss, I am put a very difficult questions for final exam, but instead of that, just work on yourself, just study hard by yourself, and I wish hard luck for you. طبعا بالعربي مهم الكلام، ضروري نترجمه بالعربي. الامتحان الفاينل حيكون من المحاضرة الأولى للسادسة. بتركزوا لي على كل شيء أنا قلته وكل شيء أنا شرحته. الأسئلة متاعي حتكون دايركت، مثلا شنو هو البالاد، ولا for example ترى اذكر ال types of poetry ولا ال element of poetry. تكلم لي على ثلاثة، اذكرهم كلهم وتكلم لي على ثلاثة. مثلا نجي نقولك في ballad، في ode and so on. So please tell me the meaning of ballad and so on. يعني انت ضروري انتم شنو تديروا understanding، باش في الاخير ما تقعدوش تلوموا في بعضكم او تلوموا في روحكم او so on. اوكي، طريقة الشرح متاعي جدا عميقة بالامثلة ب everything. اعطيتكم التايم والمساحة، قصدي اسئلة دايركت واضحة تبي بنادم قاري وفاهم فقط. cheating no، ان حد يكون حاط في المايند متاعه انه هو بيغش او بيجهز او بيكتب، ف I'm really sorry to tell you no. Okay, يعني just understand those six lecture. Hard luck for all. So in the first lecture we've we have discussed all those points. First of all, definition of poetry, then purpose of poetry, also why we study poetry and why poetry is so important. How do you find the main idea of the poem, and what about the human being? What happened in the left side and the right side too. So let's start by the definition. Definition of poetry, as I told you before, that it's imaginative interpretation of express, some experience through meaning, sound, and rhyme. So this is intended to evoke an emotional responses. So we have been already said that poetry is imaginative interpretation of experience expressed through what? You already had a bad experience or you already had a happy experience, so you are going to express your experience. Some people prefer to use poetry to express their experience, okay? And also the purpose of poetry. Purpose of poetry to express what? To express idea, things, emotions, thoughts, and all those things we are going, or the poets express it in the poetry. So the purpose of poetry is to express our idea, feeling, emotions. And also, why do we study poetry? As you know that the poetry is a form of expression. Form of what? Expression. By writing some poets, let us get out our feelings, thoughts, subjects. While reading it encourages us to connect and final meaning to our experience. Okay, and also why poetry is so important? It's important because it helps us to improve what? Improve our idea, improve our the way that we think, and
Also, reading and writing poetry makes you think of a new idea. New idea automatically, automatically it changes the way that you, perceive the old ones. For example, the old idea that there isn't a love, there isn't a real love in this life. Okay, so it's your idea since maybe 10 years ago that there isn't love in this life. So while you are reading, more than one poet, you will this this idea, it change it automatically to a new one, automatically, without means. You don't need to change your idea, but by reading some other people's experiences about love, so directly your idea will change it automatically. So the old one is omitted, you already delete it from your mind, and you add a new idea. So by poetry or by reading a poet, you will improve your idea, the way that you think, your point of view about life, your point of view about others, and so on. So also, how do you find, we've discussed how do you find the main idea of poem. So by reading the title, you see the character, you see who's wrote it, and you see it's about what, and so on. So the last one, the human brain. The human brain, as I told you, that the left side of the brain is logic reality, but the right side is creatively emotions, So as the the scientist said that the left brain is always think in logic way, but in the right brain creatively emotions, so sensitive, and they use emotions in the right side of the brain. So that's all for the first lecture. Today we are going to talk about the element of poetry. What are the elements of poetry? Let's start our class. So here, element of poetry. Poets have many tools. They use it to add the poem sound, meaning, emotional affection on the reader. So the aim of this poet, first of all, to express their idea, thoughts, and feeling, and so on. And the second, to let the reader feel what the writer is already felt. Okay, I agree about it. So again, poets have many tools, such as rhyme, rhythm, repetition, a lot of things. All those rules, use it to what? Why we should use the rules? It's important. Why there are many rules in poetry, or why the poets always use more than one tool? It's a very important question. Facts with me. So you will say that poets have used many rules to add the poem shini, to add the poem what? Sound, meaning, emotional, to what? To affect the reader, or to catch the reader's attention, or to let the reader feel with this poet. Okay, let's go to the next. So, as we know that the poetry is the art of expressing one's thought in verse. It uses few words to convey its message, and also it's meant to be read aloud. Sometimes some people like to read it with rhyme, rhythm, and others just read it normally without any, rhyme or rhythm. And also poetry arouses our emotions, and I told you before that it changes our moods, our point of view about life or about love or whatever. Poems use imagery or figure of speech to explain feeling or to create a mental picture or idea. As you know that the figure of speech, there are many figures of speech. One is a simile, metaphor, and so on. So some poets, they use what I call the figure of speech of language or figure language to just make the reader catch the idea or feel what the writer already feels while they or he or she wrote this poem. And also that there are many poems have a specific rhyme, and also poems can rhyme or not rhyme. As I told you before, not always it include rhyme in poetry. Sometimes it's rhyme, and sometimes it's also unrhyme. Also, as I told you, that some have rhyme, some not rhyme, some just arouse, some read in loud voice, the other no. So we are agreed that that poetry is art of expression. Yes. So the reason of writing a poetry is to express the writer's idea, his feeling, emotion, thoughts, point of view, and whatever. And the writer here, or the poet, the reason of his writing is to just let the reader catch or feel what he already felt. So it uses a few words to convey the message. Of course, in the poetry, I'm sorry, there are many words. Sometimes difficult words, and we couldn't understand it, but just a reason, just to give them or convey their message. And poetry arouses our emotions also. So we use some figure of speech or figure language, so to explain feeling, to create a mental picture or idea in the reader's mind. So the elements of poetry are line, stanzas, rhyme, and written scheme, then rhythm, free verse, alliteration, imagery, separation, family, metaphor, onomatopoeia, versification, idiom. That's the 13 parts or elementary of poetry. By the way, المفروض أن يكون يجيب هذه 2 lectures، المفروض يكون يجيب في محاضرتين، بس أنا اخترت إن يكون في محاضرة واحدة باش يصير انتوا في الانفورميشن بتاعكم يصيروا لينك يعني يرتبطوا ببعضهم، ما يصيرش إنه في محاضرة بعد أسبوع ما يصيرش الانفورميشن أفضل المعلومات اللي تنتقل مثلا there's a person who one lecture is better for your mind and for your understanding. So that's the element of poetry, line, stanzas, rhyme, rhythm, and so on. Until we finish our class, I just gave you definition for some difficult elements of poetry. I think that maybe it could be difficult for you, so I just collect some definition and tell you more. But until here, our class is finished. Let's go now to the definition. Okay, so now this is the 6 types or forms of poem. So this is the 6 types or forms of poem. First one is ballad, then ode, then elegy, then haiku, then free verse. The last one is sonnet. That's the 6 types of poems. 6 types or 6 kinds of poems. Ballad, ode, elegy, haiku, free verse, and sonnet. Okay? So when you face such this example, what are the 6 types of poem? We're going to mention ballad, and then ode, then elegy, haiku, free verse, and sonnet. Of course, you are wondering or asking yourself what are they, and what's the meaning of this, and what does our Miss Zeydan mean by this. Yeah, inshallah, in next slides you will know what's the meaning of ballad, and what's the meaning of ode, and what's the meaning of elegy, haiku, free verse, and sonnet. So that's all. There are many, by the way, there are many types of forms of poem, but I just choose the 6. I felt that's much more important than the others. So substitute okay. So that they created something called types or kind of poems. For what reason? To make the poem much more interested, and the character, and to let the poets, to help the poets how to create the poems, because each one here they use in different uses. For example, ballad here, the meaning of ballad is song. Ballad, it means song. So when someone will just write a poem and he wanna use a ballad in his poem. It's okay, he can sing يعني أغنية يعني. Okay. أما أغنية هي قصيدة غنائية زي النشيد اللي يعني اللي رددوا فيه أو so on. هذا ode يعني sometimes when the writer going to write a poem you could use ode, this kind of poem. And also elegy here the meaning as when you are, for example, in a mountain and you are just sit and try to see this wonderful view from you, but in the best luck, you know. Just use all your emotions while you are looking for the trees, for the nature. So you are doing what? Sightseeing, right? So this kind of elegy, it's a poem, but related with sightseeing. When you are going to think deeply about the nature or about the real. Also here, haiku is it's a kind of poem or free verse. It means when you are going to write a poem, you will not use a rhyme or rhythm or anything. Just write whatever comes in your mind, free, without any rules. And then sonnet. Sonnet it includes 14 lines or 4 stanzas. Okay, I will not make you confused or not make you confused. Let's go next, and I will show you later. So this is another definition for ballad. Ballad song or song-like poem that tells a story. It tells a story. Sometimes it's emotional stories. Tells some experience, but it specializes with song, you know, like in music. So this is the ballad, and I just give you this example, which is include 4 lines. As I told you that the ballad, and often or typically it includes 4 lines, which call it quatrain. Quatrain, it means 4 lines. As you see here, there are 4 lines in this poem, okay? So you can read it by yourself, but the goal from ballad is you should know that it's a very old and traditional, you know, poem, and it's passed down from one generation to another. And until now, the pop music is referred to the ballad. It's kind of song, you know. It's a music. Use it with the music. Use it with song. So that's all. Let's go next. Okay, here, ode, as I told you in previous slide, that's to sing or chant. Sing or chant by using an instrument. An ode must have 2 or more stanzas. 2 or more stanzas. I don't mean by more stanzas, I don't mean that 10 or 11, because it's typically, you know, quite short, not like the others. So must have 2 or more stanzas, and each stanza needs to have similar structure. Must have similar structure. Rhyme is very important. Yes, an ode. Each line and stanza must rhyme with another in the same stanzas. Okay? Again. So we agree that, you know, that ode means sing or chant by using an instrument, of course. Must use, you know, have 2 or more stanzas, and each stanza must, you know, have similar structure. Here it's very important. The rhyme is very important in ode. So each line and stanza must have rhyme with another in these stanzas. For example, in the stanzas which I'm going to show to you in next slide, you will see it inshallah. Line 1 and 3 rhyme with each other, and line 2 and 4 with each other. Also, it's such a revision for rhyme, because you already know the rhyme it means the ends of the words which have the same sound. So every line, you know, has a rhyming partner. No lines are left unrhymed. You must rhyme it together. This is what we call it ode, because you are going to sing by using instrument, so you must use rhyme. You couldn't sing without using rhyme. So rhyme is very
You couldn't, just sing the song without using rhyme. Like in our era right now, in our songs in 2020, you cannot just, you can't feel interest when you just hear music, but without rhyme. So you feel like it's a lot of words not connected with each other in sound, so it doesn't mean anything for you, and even you couldn't memorize it, but the rhyme, it helped you to catch the attention, to feel joyful with the song. So back again, we said that you must have same rhyme. Okay, we will see next example of oud, and we will discuss together. So here there are 6 steps for writing a note. When you are going to write a note, there are 6 steps. You will not write oud, okay? But just a general idea that you should know it, okay? The first one is get emotional. While you are going to write oud, you have feel what you are going to write. Try to use all your feelings: sadness, happiness, depressive, disappointment, whatever. So first one, to can write a good or perfect oud, you should get emotional. You have to be very sensitive and use your emotion while you are writing what comes in your mind. Second one, if you feel it, just say it. If you feel something, just say it, but not say it in, just in speaking, just say it by writing. Feel free to write, So if you feel something, just say something. Okay, but say it by pick up your pen and write down what you feel and what you say. Think about your react while you are going to write something. So, okay, by yourself, I'm going to write about if I hit my son, so I'm going to try to think about the reaction that my son going to did while I'm hitting him. Okay, something like that. The last step is size matter. Size matter here, it means try to think in different aspects about something and written different stanzas. So when you are going to choose, for example, environment, you are going to write oud about environment. You are going to think about different aspects, and according to these different aspects, you are going to write different stanzas. For example, you found 3 aspects, so it means you are going to write 3 stanzas. Each stanza includes different topic. Okay, so to rhyme or not to rhyme. Okay, this is also the tips. Okay, you are free if you wanted to use a rhyme or not, but you should know that the traditional poets always include rhyme. So if it does rhyme, it's a wisdom. So if you just use a rhyme, it's a wisdom. But if you didn't use it, it's okay, but it's better to use a rhyme. Share your poem. So after you type it, you are going to share it with someone just to make him happy. So the sky is the limit. So what's the meaning? Rhyme or sing. After you've done all, try to rhyme or sing by using oud, which is mixing by using instrument, or rhyme by ballad or whatever. So those are 6 steps for writing a note. First of all, you should use your emotion. Try to feel and use all your emotions, and to be a sensitive. While you are being sensitive, your writing will be perfect. Not don't be like a wall. You don't have any feeling. No, you should use your feeling. I'm sure that you have a lot of feeling. Anyway, if you feel it, just say it. If you feel something, just say it automatically. Then size matters. Think of different aspects about your topic, which is about your poem, and according of those aspects, you are going to write stanzas. And that's all. Let's go next. Okay, so the fourth one is haiku poems. Haiku. Haiku poems from the word haiku. Ni hao, ni hao ma. Ni hao, ni hao ma. It's the original from Asian continent. قارة آسيا طبعا. هذا النوع من القصائد. The haiku or haiku is an ancient of Japanese poetry that has become very popular all over the world. Nowadays, until nowadays, it's still very popular. It's called haiku or haiku. Haiku is ancient from a Japanese poetry that has become very popular over the world. Renowned for its small size, small size. Haikus consist of just 3 lines. Just 3 lines. Just 3 lines. Haiku include or consist just 3 lines. The first and third lines have 5 syllables. Must have 5 syllables. Whereas the second have 7. Haikus don't have to Haikus don't have to rhyme and are usually written to evoke a particular mood or instance. So you can have a little fun with them. You may have written or will find yourself in writing your own haiku at some point in school, or you can get creative and try it at time in home or whatever. So the most important thing is haiku is an ancient, or haiku is ancient, from Japan, from Japanese poetry, which has become popular all over the world. It's very small, just consists of 3 lines, okay, and we should use the syllables. We can make such a red line and differentiate between haiku and ode and ballad and elegy by saying that haiku must include syllables. How? The first and third lines must have 5 syllables. Second has 7 syllables. Okay, so writing a haiku poem, it's a very simple process. And inshallah in next slide, I'll going over the process with you. Step by step instructions. We are going to use instruction, and I will show you how to use the syllables and lines. So basically, haiku poems involve 3 lines, and each of those 3 lines has a certain number of syllables that it must have. The first line must have 5 syllables, second line must have 7 syllables, and third must have 5 syllables. So 5, 7, 5, 5, 7, 5. So when you're going to create a haiku poem, it generally focuses on certain topic or certain theme. Haiku poems, it's facts and or on certain topic or certain theme, just certain topic or certain theme. So you can just throw together a whole bunch of words and expect it to be a haiku. It has been, revolving around a certain theme and maybe the way that things make you feel. So haiku poems, it's all surrounded with the same, same theme or same topic. Okay, the matter of the poem is the same. And also you should know that haiku poems talk about nature and feeling. Nature and feeling. So I will show you the next slide that I find it is a very simple poem. I will show you the example of this simple poem. Okay, but you should know that the haiku poems it talks about nature and feeling. Nature and feeling. So here another definition for elegy. Elegy is a poem that reflects upon death or loss. Okay, قصيدة يعني حزينة على الفقدان. Traditionally, it contains themes of mourning, loss, and reflections. However, it can also explore the theme of redemption and conclusion. So here the definition of elegy is reflected upon what, death or lose. So it's very sad poem. Okay, very sad poem. Okay, so until now we already know palette, ode and elegy. So what else? Let's go next. Now the last type or kind of poem is sonnet. Sonnet. Of course, when you hear the word sonnet, William Shakespeare comes in your mind. Yeah. This is very old. This is a very old form of poetry. Was made famous by none other than William Shakespeare. The sonnet actually the original of the sonnet and when in 13th century Italy. In Italy, you know where it was, perfected by the poet Petrarch. The word sonnet is derived from the Italian word sonetto. So the history or the original word, or it comes from where? From Italy. So it was sonetto. Then we changed it to sonnet in English, which means a lyre song. Lyre, not that song like oud with instrument, but this one is lyre song. Traditionally, sonnets are made of 14 lines. 14 lines, okay, put in your mind. 14 lines, and usually deal with love. As a rule of Petrarchan Italian, sonnets follow an APPA, CDE. This is the rhyme scheme. Whereas Shakespearean English sonnets are typically APAB, CD, EF, GG. But of course, rules are made to be broken. Okay, so we agree that's a tradition, but the rules nowadays it's a broken. Not always AB or so on. But when you are going to see a sonnet and you are going to differentiate between sonnet and ode, or between sonnet and free verse, or between what we call between sonnet and any other type of poetry. When you see that there are 14 lines and the rhyme from A, B, B, A, so automatically you will say that's a sonnet. So the original sonnet, it comes from Italy, Italy. It was a sonetto. It's made up of 14 lines. It includes a specific rhyme scheme, but of course it's broken. Not anyone can use it. And okay, so don't forget that it comes in 13th century in Italy. Okay, let's see more examples about sonnet. Then the meaning of alliteration, the repetition of entail sounds or consonant sounds on the same line or stanza, like big fat, pop punk, briefly. Here, onomatopoeia words that sounds like that, which they describe it. You are going to describe, for example, noises. So you are going to use a sound. This word is with sound. The word not in word itself, but in the sound. Crash, pash, pan, crash, and so on. Rhyme. Rhyme is the repetition of similar sounds in poetry. The most common kind of rhyme is the end rhyme, which occurs at the end of two or more lines. It's usually identified with lowercase letters and a new letter used to identify each new sound. Let's take a look of this rhyme scheme. I saw a fairy in the wood. He was dressed all in green. He drew his sword while I just stood and realized that I've been seen. Wood وstood زي بعضهم green وسين زي بعضهم. هذا هو الرhyme.
Okay, here a family is the analytical term used to designate the mass elementary form of resemblance, most similar, most simile are introduced by like or as. The comparison are usually between dissimilar situations or objects that have something in common, such as my love is like a red rose. Metaphor leaves out like or as leaves out. نحوهم مرة واحدة اللايك والas في شنو؟ في الميتافور and implies a direct comparison with object or situation of flesh and grass. Or flesh and grass. That's the simile and metaphor. Here, classification occurs when you treat abstractions or animated objects as human, that's giving them human powers or feelings. This is what we call Parsification. Occurs when you treat abstractions, abstractions. Sometimes you give them human attributes, powers, or feelings. You give it to who? To the animals, or sometimes you take the animals' qualities to the human and opposite.
Thank you so much. I wish you enjoy this class with me. My regards, Miss Aya Zidane. See you inshallah next class. Thank you. Goodbye.